Hi, I'm Dr. Keith Porter, Chief Engineer for the Institute for Catastrophic Loss Reduction. I'm speaking to you from our Resilience Display Center in London, Ontario. I want to tell you about how to protect homes from basement flooding. This display shows that. On this display we show good flood resistance practices on one side and bad practices on the other. I'm going to start with the bad side. I'm going to illustrate, now there's a lot of things that one can do to reduce the risk of basement flooding. I'm going to focus on 3 or 4 of those things. So on the bad side, we're seeing a lot of things that can aggravate the risk of basement flooding. Now, basement flooding tends to happen when the rain falls out of the sky so fast that it can't get into the stormwater system and away from the house fast enough. It accumulates next to the house. Now on the bad side, we see soil sloping toward the house. So when the rainwater falls out of the sky, it pools next to the house and it can get into the basement through cracks in the foundation wall or through low windows. Another thing that's going on here is that we've got the eaves troughs. You can see the downspouts here. The eaves troughs are draining straight into the sewer system. Now when there's a lot of rain, this combined stormwater and sewer system can fill up so much with water that the water backs up into the house through the sewer lateral and into the basement, and that's represented, and it'll flood the basement, and that's represented by this black mat here. Basement flooding can cost an average of $26,000 to repair it, sometimes even more. Anyway, having the eaves troughs draining into the combined stormwater and sewer system, that just adds more water to the sewer and makes that whole problem worse. Another problem with this house is that all of the wastewater from the house, from the bathrooms and the kitchen, they drain through the sewer lateral straight out to the sewer system, and there's nothing to prevent that sewer water from coming back into the house when the sewer is all full of waters, charged with water, and that can, back up into the house and create this flooding. Now, I'm going to focus on a few ways to prevent those problems from happening. Turn the house around and show the good side. Now, the first thing that we do is to change the slope of the soil so that it slopes away from the house rather than toward the house. All you need is a couple of inches over the first 5 feet or so, a few centimeters over the first 1.5 meters or so of soil next to the house to get the water to drain away from the house rather than toward it. Also, we disconnect the eaves troughs from the sewer system. Over here is the combined stormwater and sewer system. So there's the downspouts, and we disconnect them from the sewer system and instead have them drain onto the yard a few feet away, 1.5 meters away from the house. And the water that falls onto the roof drains out into the yard and away from the house. Another thing that's going on here is that we have a sump pump with a battery backup. This is the sump pit here. It's a pit underneath your basement with a pump in it, and that pump is powered by AC power, and it's got a marine battery also in a little closet here that'll power it in case of a power outage. So now we've got any water that's next to the house in the sort of backfill here drains into the sump pit rather than into the basement. The sump pump removes the water. This little pipe here, this little tube here should be connected there. The sump pump pumps the water out of the pit into the yard away from the house. Now this isn't sewer water, it's just rainwater that's come through these weeping tiles there and there. Anyway, so that's rainwater, it's pumped out into the yard and flows away from the house because the soil slopes away from the house, and that prevents groundwater from seeping up into the basement. Another thing that we've got going on here is that the bathrooms and the kitchen, they're draining out the sewer lateral here, but they're draining through this device called a backflow valve. or a backwater valve, and that allows water to go out but not come back in. So if the sewer fills up with water and gets very high pressure in it, the water tries to come back through the backflow valve, but the backflow valve shuts off and won't allow water into the house. Now, when the sewer is all full of water and the backflow valve is closed, at those times you can't use the toilet and the kitchen and stuff because the water has nowhere to go. But you just have to wait for the sewer line to empty out. These devices can come with an alarm that will tell you when the valve is closed. So on this good side here, we've done basically three things. We have disconnected the downspouts from the sewer. We have them drain onto the soil. The soil slopes away from the house rather than toward it. We've got a battery backup sump pump, and we've got a backwater valve. And all of these things together will greatly tend to reduce the chance of basement flooding.